What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be installing some Raceland coilovers and this here wheel bearing because I desperately need it. So let's get into it. Alright, so these are my Raceland coilovers. They're pretty much a classic coilovers. They sell like the Primo, and then I don't know what the name of the other one is, but they sell like 3 different types of coilovers. This one's pretty much the cheapest you can do. I have the same coilovers on the Blue Turd, and I don't really take the speed to the track or anything. I'm just like a cruiser mainly. So I mean, I really don't need some like pricey coilovers, especially like BC coilovers. I mean, I can save myself $500-600 just by switching to these or Geico. The one thing I do like about Raceland when they send you the coilovers is they give you this little box, and I'm not just talking about the box. I'm talking about like what's inside the box. So it should be, if I'm not mistaken, a black card. Congratulations, play Cards Against Humanity. So they give you this little keychain, a little coilover keychain. I honestly like this stuff. It's like the little things that matter the most. So this is pretty much everything that came inside the box. You got your brand new top hats with the coils on the front. You got your top mats for the struts in the back. You got these that go on top of the coilovers. You got the back coilovers with the adjustable collars and stuff. Here's the brand new shocks for the back, and here's the coilovers themselves and the wheel bearing, but we don't really care about that. The only thing that I'm low-key a little bit sad about is the Raceland decal that wasn't in the box. For some reason, they sent me a decal when I got it on the Blue Turd, but they didn't send me one this time, so it's all good. I could probably get it printed out somewhere and stick it somewhere on this car eventually. I already got the car lifted up on jack stands. I got the chalk on the back pretty much to prevent it from rolling, and I got the wheels both sides taken off. I'm probably gonna have to order some new tires though, because these are already cracked as shit on the sidewall. But then again, they were used when I got the car, so probably gonna go ahead and order some Federal 595s to get a really aggressive and meteor setup, and hopefully get some more grip while I'm at it. Okay, so what I went ahead and did, it was WD-40 this bolt right here to the sway bar, and then I WD-40'd this bolt right here that's to the tie rod, and I also WD-40'd all the way around the original shock and strut, so that way it's a lot easier to take out because I don't have a strut spreader. So I'm just gonna pry that bitch off, hopefully. This nut will spin on you if you try to do it with the regular, I believe it's a 17mm socket. So what I went ahead and did, and what you can do too, is use the vice grips to hold that nut down, and then use a 5mm Allen wrench and use your electric ratchet. All right, once you got the sway bar nut off, you got the tie rod nut is off, but the tie rod's not coming off, but that's okay because it'll come off as soon as we're done pretty much pulling this off. So we got the strut nut off there, and pretty much once you get it going down enough, you can stick a pry bar in there and just kind of get it all the way down. You're probably gonna have to get somebody to help you, so that way someone can hold it down while you pull it out. So once the whole assembly is out, you might want to hold it up with the jack stand or jack, just so you don't pull your whole CV axle out like I did on the Blue Turd the first time I did the coilovers on it. Once all that is out, you're gonna focus on these next 3 bolts up here, which are pretty simple to take out. There ain't nothing to it. The top hat and the strut are completely out. And behind over here is this big old massive lowering spring and this Coney yellow, which both of them have seen better days. I mean, this thing has probably been on there since when it was sold back in 2007 or a little bit later. But yeah, as you can tell, man, this thing is a lot bigger than what the coilovers we're going to be putting on, and these weigh a little bit less than this does, old heavy ass thing. And of course, we got the new top hats. This is already all, look at that, bearings all thrown everywhere and stuff, brand new. So let's get it popping. Go Spurs, go. Pretty much when you get your coilover, it's gonna come in a bunch of different pieces. It might already be all put together for you, or some of it just might be falling apart. So you got the top part, which is your collar slash bearing pretty much. You got your top spring right here, and then you have the bottom one. And in between the two, there's this little collar right here that has 2 lips on it, separating them 2 for the top and the bottom. And then you have the bottom lip, which just has 1 little lip on it that holds the bottom spring in place. So pretty much what you're gonna do is your collar, we'll put like a little plastic washer that came on it, put your collar on it, and take your top hat from, well, a brand new one, or if you have the same ones that you took off and they're still in good condition, I mean, you can just put it back on. So make sure that little nut on top is there. Put the top hat on, make sure it's there. Put the little washer that came with your OEM strut. and then put the nut back on. Now what you're gonna wanna do is pretty much use an impact to tie this down, or else it's pretty much gonna keep spinning on you if you try to do it manually. Now that you got everything put back together, you're just gonna slide it under here, put it back on top with all the bolts, and pretty much just put everything back together. So with the new coilover bolts that it gives you, these are gonna be a 12mm compared to like what was on it before, which is a 14. So I don't know what OEM is, it might be 12, but just wanna make sure before you start throwing everything around and throwing everything away. But these for sure are the 12mm, so it should be good with that. All right, so the new coilover is in pretty much. The only problem is I'm probably gonna have to go to AutoZone tomorrow and get a strut spreader because I cannot put it back into the little hole right here. So went ahead and took out the other one from the other side. This one's actually not that bad condition, still pretty good. But the only problem is the same shit that happened to the blue turret happened to this one too, and the whole freaking CV axle came out. Excuse me, sir. I guess tomorrow we're gonna go to AutoZone and get that strut spreader, and then I guess we're picking up a CV axle and changing the CV axle out tomorrow. Oh boy. I called AutoZone and they don't have the part in stock, so I went ahead and just ordered it online, and I guess when it comes into the store I'll go pick it up. But we have a little surprise. The R1 concept drill to slaughter rotors that I ordered last week are finally in. And over here you got the front ones, which are the big brakes for the big brake kit that it already has on the Speed. And then these are the back ones, a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter. And these are probably about the same weight, a little bit heavy, but let's go ahead and slap these bad boys on, shall we? We're gonna go ahead and paint the calipers black. I was gonna do red, but I have red accents on the center cap of the wheel, so I don't want it too red as far as the accents go. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this clip off and just take off the brake caliper. So to take the brake caliper off, there's gonna be 2 bolts right back in here. That's gonna be a 7mm. If you have them, an Allen wrench. And then for the 2 big bolts back there, these are gonna be a 20. You're gonna have to use a breaker bar probably to crack these loose. First coat of paint is on. I'm gonna be putting 2 more after this, letting the first coat dry for right now. And since I'm gonna be replacing the rotors entirely, I'm not gonna cover them up. I mean, I don't care if I get overspray on them, so I don't care about that. Also, I covered up the ABS sensor, so that way you don't get overspray on the, I guess, wiring that's in there. And everything else is pretty good. You won't get it on the coil or anything as long as you do it correctly and watch where you're aiming. But so we're gonna go ahead and do 2 more coats on this one and then get the other brake on the other side undone. Also, when you're doing this, make sure you use brake cleaner on the caliper first and maybe sand it down with the bristle pad just to get a excess rust or whatever you have on it off. With the self, I need to get a 20-volt ratchet because it just makes things a lot more easier instead of just doing this the whole entire day. Got the other side painted already. And over here we have one of the rotors taken off. As you can tell, this one's all beat up and nasty and rusted out. This one's all nice, shiny, drilled and slotted. As you can tell the difference, boom, not boom. Here they are on the car with the painted caliper. I still need to connect the sway bar link, and I still need to get the strut spreader and connect the coilover in so I can adjust it. But yeah, here they are on this side. Still need to do the back side. I'll probably do that tomorrow after I hopefully get the CV axle out and in. And here they are on the other side. This one's kind of leaning because, I mean, the CV axle's popped out. So as soon as we're done doing that, we can go ahead and get started on the back. Ironically, I don't have the, I'm guessing it's a 34mm socket for the CV axle nut, which sucks because I just picked up the CV axle today and I kind of wanted to finish the car today. But even at that, it's really windy to paint back calipers. And to be honest, I'm a little burnt out from working all week, 12 hours every single day, Monday through Saturday. So I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just rest up for tonight. Mother's Day is tomorrow, so we are gonna take my mom out and treat her and get her a bunch of stuff. So there's that. So I think Monday we'll just start back at it again. All right, so we're back Monday, and Buggy just took a shit in my car. Thanks a lot, bro. Appreciate it. These past couple of days kind of sucked because it's been storming and it's been wet. So off camera, I did the last back rotors and painted the calipers. So all we really got to do is the back coilovers, and then I also got this. I installed it last night. It's a new front lip because my other one I completely destroyed, wrapped in fake carbon fiber. I had to remove my front grille too, but I have a Mishimoto front mount intercooler coming, so it'll look good sitting in there. Went ahead and sprayed penetrating oil real quick on the 2 bolts, because they're probably gonna be a little hard to crack off. I know they were hard to crack on the blue turret, so let's see what happens here. Okay, they weren't hard to crack at all. I barely turned it with a little bit of oomph and it came loose, so hell yeah, penetrating oil, way to do your job. Once you got the sway bar links disconnected, you're just gonna want to push the sway bar back a little bit so that it clears the control arms. The easiest way that I found out to do this would be to get a ratchet with the Allen socket attachment, 5mm, and then get a regular wrench with a ratchet at the end. I think that's the best way to do it, so you can take this nut off pretty easily. It actually came out pretty easily. I didn't have to use a breaker bar or anything, just a little bit of force. These were a bitch to take out. The 17mm socket. But once you got both sides taken out just like that, you're just gonna push the control arms down and the spring should just come out. So out with the old and with the new, as you can already tell, this is already about ½ inch lower. Actually no, probably like 2 inches lower than the old spring. So we probably don't even need to adjust it, just all the way to the top, I'm guessing. So let's just slide this bad boy in. I forgot to mention, don't take this bolt off yet until you somehow take the shock bolt out first, because if not, then you're gonna have a hard time trying to get it loose. But once you get this loose, you should be able to get this loose too. And then as soon as you're done getting that off, just unbolt the top 2 bolts that are holding the top hat in, and then we can put our replacement ones in. When you're taking these out, you might just want to compress it so that way you can get this little lip out of here at the bottom, and then just slide it out. But once you're done doing that, you can put your top hat on, a nice little top hat, and then you have your little bolts over there that comes with, and then you get the little nut that these shocks come with. So you're just gonna put it on top there, and then just get your impact and go ahead and tie it down. Got that bolted in there nice and fit. Now we're just gonna slide this in. So basically what you're gonna want to do, pull that control arm down and just kind of twist it until that bottom piece comes to a stop, I think. Yep, there it is right there. All right, so now we're just gonna slide this bad boy in and then repeat steps 1 through 5, I guess. All right, coilover in, new shock and top hat in, drilled a slot of rotors in. This side is completely done. Now let's do the other side. So I got all that on, and then I got the sway bar linked back up on this side and the other side. So everything looks good back here. Trying to pop this off, ran into a problem. It's actually staked on there, as you can tell, all the way around. So what I went ahead and did was stop at Lowe's real quick after I got up for work, and I bought me this torch. We're gonna try to expand the metal by heating it up for about 5-6 minutes, and hopefully we can throw the socket on there and just pop it loose. All right, let's do this. So basically I'm just gonna go over this for like 5 minutes probably, just so I can try to expand it, the axle nut, and then we're just gonna put the socket on there and pop that bitch off. This torch didn't do jack shit, so I had my buddy from work that has a legit shit. We're gonna try to crack this bitch off. We finally were able to take, well, Philip was finally able to take off the nut and the shitty ass CV axle that came along with it. Bro, look at that. So thank God I have that extra wheel bearing. I wasn't gonna use it for the other side, but Mama said you're just gonna probably use it on this side because the threads are messed up from cutting it, but I already kind of figured that's what was gonna happen. So now we just gotta get the bearing pushed down, push the new one in, should be all good. So with everything removed from the wheel well, the coilover, the sway bar link, tie rod, the lower control arm, it actually made it a lot more easier to pull this thing out. As you can tell, it's already pretty much out. Just a couple more pulls with the slide hammer, and then we could slide the new one in. You know, this axle probably could have actually been saved if it wasn't for that stupid ass nut, because it actually looks pretty good. Like, nothing looks broken on it. It's just pulled out from the boot mainly, and it's good from the transmission side. But yeah, that stupid ass nut, man, just would not come off. I even broke my breaker bar because of it. Look at this. That sucks. And I had to go buy another breaker bar. That was a badass breaker bar too. Lube the other side up with the transmission oil, I guess, and grease too. And so that way we can just slide in there a little bit more easily, and so that way you're not smashing the threads or anything when you slide it in, but it actually went in pretty easy. I thought it was gonna be a lot more difficult than I originally planned, but so now all we gotta do is just go push out the bearing, put the new one in, and then we can finally put everything together. Because honestly, it's been like 2 weeks already. Even though this video is only probably like 20 minutes long, but I'm ready to get it over with. So come on. Probably one of the main reasons why I didn't do the CV axle is because I didn't have the socket. I didn't have the 34 millimeter. Actually, it's a 32 millimeter socket, but I have to pick up a 34 because they didn't have it. But I need to finish it this weekend because next Saturday we have a big ass car meet going down in Austin, the ATX opener. So I need this car in mint condition because I'm going with all my speed friends. We're rolling out there early in the day, probably even in the morning. Gonna stop at good old-fashioned Buc-ee's. So I need this car done. I still need to get my tires, which I'm probably gonna get Monday morning because I'm on night shifts. So I'll just get that in the morning before go to work. And then I need to get my banner. It's gonna be a surprise what it's gonna say. And then I need my roof rack. Wrap. I'll leave a link down in the description, so that way y'all guys can go hit them up if you're in the surrounding area of San Antonio, or if you're in the San Antonio area. But check out my boy at Deviation Decal Shop for all your decal needs. All right, just a quick update before we just throw everything back together and finally complete this thing. It's been about a month and a half, maybe almost 2 months, since we broke these brackets off from trying to push the wheel bearing out. So I went ahead and ordered another one of these. It was brand new from this one company. It took about almost 3 weeks to get here, and when it finally did, the post office just shafted me and they sent it right back because supposedly they couldn't find my address. So I just went ahead and went on eBay and picked this steering knuckle up, the same exact one with the ABS sensor and pretty good wheel bearing. I picked this one up on eBay for like 60 bucks, all the way from Minnesota actually. That's why it kind of looks a little bit beat up, but I think that's just the paint coating on the cast iron. So yeah, it has a little bit of salt wear on it. I mean, that's what it's expected of it from being up north. So yeah, we're just gonna throw this thing together and hopefully we can finally get it done, guys. After 2 long, frustrating months, we finally got her back on the road and she is looking pretty snazzy. As you can tell, I got the little blue turds wheels on here. I think I'm gonna leave it like this actually for a while. I'm kind of digging the whole different setup of wheels. Gotta show off, gotta flex what kind of wheels you have out there, man. Instead of just rocking one set, you rock 2 sets. Everything is sitting in there nicely. The drilled and slotted rotors look pretty good. The painted brake calipers look good. I still got to get the newer tires in the front. I guess that's why I kind of got these from the blue turd and left these on, because I mean the other one was flat, but I've been so busy, guys, that I haven't been able to really get them. I was gonna go with the Federals, but I was looking at the Firestone Firehawks, the ND500s, and they were actually pretty nice looking. The grip setup is pretty cool, and I heard they were really good, and they're actually pretty cheap too. So I might actually get a pair of those. So once I get that going, I can drop down the tire size on here, and then it'll probably even sit even lower in the front. All it's missing is some side skirts and a big old gold Mishimoto front mount to compensate for that missing grille, and of course the hood, the roof, and the spoiler wrapped. Shit, we might even get Bucky wrapped too, all carbon fiber. What do you have to say about that, boy? What should have been a 3-day job took 2 months, all because of the stupid steering knuckle, man. I swear to God, I'm never ordering from that company again. Everything's adjusted already. We're all ready to go. So until the next video, guys, we'll see y'all around. We'll see y'all on the streets. And remember, drive safe. Peace.